Consequences of this propaganda can be observed in the ongoing military conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The public could not overlook the obvious and alarming similarities between President Putin's speech on February 24, 2022, about the start of a so-called special military operation in Ukraine, and Hitler's speech about the beginning of the war with Poland and the Reichstag on September 1, 1939, which marked the start of World War II. In particular, both Putin and Hitler claimed that they were forced to resort to military action after exhausting all peaceful means of resolving the conflict and not receiving support for their peaceful initiatives from the international community. In Putin's speech, as in Hitler's, there were assurances that civilians were not at risk and that strikes would be limited to military targets, avoiding civilian ones. Assertions that later proved to be false. Both Putin and Hitler denied the historical legitimacy of the neighboring state, claiming the historical belonging of its lands to their own country. Finally, both falsely assured that they had no intentions of occupying the neighboring country's territories. The parallels are so obvious that they cannot be ignored. Nazism, this monstrous creation of the 20th century, left an indelible mark of tragedy and suffering in human history, becoming synonymous with genocide and inhumanity. Yet here in the 21st century, we are horrified to see how openly and cynically the Russian media justifies the need for genocide of the Ukrainian people. Just as in the dark days of Nazi Germany, baseless assertions about the Ukrainians' lack of civilizational substance are once again being heard. This rhetoric is an exact replica of Nazi propaganda, which denied the right to the existence of entire nations and cultures. It is crucial to understand that the examples of state policy presented are neither isolated nor spontaneous measures. On the contrary, they are elements of a systematic and consistent strategy, the ultimate goal of which is the gradual restriction of citizens' rights and freedoms. This is an intermediate stage on the path to the complete suppression of civil liberties and the establishment of total state control over individuals. We cannot ignore the historical parallels, noting that such tactics were once used by Adolf Hitler to establish a totalitarian regime in Germany. After the onset of the military conflict between Russia and Ukraine, many pro-Ukrainian media outlets adopted the rhetoric that there were too many similarities between the actions of President Putin and the sequence of actions taken by